Alright, welcome to the 6th episode of SmashCenter. My name is Suar, and this is now the 6th time we're bringing you the latest in tournament results, recaps, and more. My co-host Coney will be joining us in a moment after I cover these tournaments that I have here ready for you in a sec. But first off, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube, as you will find the videos posted there once they air on Twitch. And you can always join to the conversation by commenting, and we'll try to answer them week by week. But let's go ahead and jump into our first of 3 tournaments we're going to go over, and that's going to be Ascension 2. Now, Ascension 2 is a tournament that comes to us from the Southwest, and it boasts a pretty impressive amount of results since, again, the Southwest has visited SoCal on many occasions, so some of these names might sound familiar. Schroeder takes the gold, of course, with his Greninja coming from Smash 4 as a Greninja main. This is a very apt transition for him, as well as SS taking second with Young Link. Now, SS being a Ness main from Smash 4 saw maybe a little bit of trouble here in getting the gold, but nonetheless getting the silver at this event, which boasts a 200 plus attendee number, is very impressive because it's a C-tier event for this season's PGR. But let's move right along. We will have many other tournaments that we're going to see this season in the C-tier range, so props up to Ascension 2 for hitting that benchmark. But next we're going to go over to Europe, where we see another tournament also hit the C-tier range. We're actually going to have Calyptus Cup in Strike. This tournament featuring a very impressive host of European players, with Purple H taking the gold, followed by Robin GG, Suna, Yo for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th respectively. A very familiar name in this top 8 is Light, not to be confused with the New England Light, but instead the Light from Germany. He used to play Zero Suit Samus. This tournament, again, reaching that C-tier rating. They had the international multiplier with 188 attendees, this being, of course, very impressive for Europe to attain, since in the past PGR iterations they've had a little bit of trouble reaching that representation. So to find them now in the ranks of C-tier and above for their tournaments is something that many people will find extremely welcoming. So big ups to Europe, because having that representation on the first PGR will be instrumental for the rest of the seasons to come. And once it ends before EVO here this early summer, they will be pretty much setting their sights up for the 2nd season, as some of their players from Europe might be ranked. Have my eye on you, Mr. R. But nonetheless, let's continue on to the other tournaments. We have, of course, here Overclocked Ultimate. And this is a very favorite tournament to me, being from New England previously. Overclocked Ultimate features a very amazing cast from New England, with DeBuzz actually coming in from Tri-State, invading and taking the gold over Mars and Light, who got 2nd and 3rd respectively. Light being a conceivably top 5 player in Ultimate, given his incredible performance at Genesis and the other tournaments we had in the preseason, such as Glitch as well. And we had some other showings from the New England crowd, specifically Lade, previously known as Kool-Aid, as well as Rafi X sporting the Rob in top 8. These players showed an incredible amount of resolve when they were going against each other and trying to take out the Tri-State Invader. Fortunate for DeBuzz and unfortunate for New England, DeBuzz takes the entire thing, netting him another W in what is a now pretty impressive resume, considering he did also top 8 Genesis 6. But nonetheless, we have the headline now coming up to us this week. We have Frostbite 2019. This is the 2nd S-tier tournament that we're going to see in the PGR first season for Ultimate. This tournament is going to be insane, considering the fact that it's going to be not only in the Midwest, but in the dead of now the end of winter. We're going to see an incredible showing from Japan, who's also going to attend this tournament in droves. We're going to see the first ever crew battle between USA and Japan. But most of all, we're going to see this 2nd S-tier title go to somebody other than MK Leo, potentially, who took, of course, the first S-tier event of the season, which would be Genesis 6. Frostbite 2019 is going to be the event to see, the event to watch, and it's going to be something that we're going to be talking a lot about today. So don't miss that action. It's going to be this weekend in Michigan. It's going to be, of course, the 22nd through the 24th. If you haven't logged in yet to Twitch and subscribed to these incredible tournament streamers like Unrivaled Tournaments, Gucci Gaming, MVG, make sure you do, because they're going to be showing all the hot action. And helping me break that action, actually, is going to be my co-host, now coming into the call we're going to have Coney. So, one sec while I get this set up really quick. Coney's going to help me break down the tournaments that we've been seeing now, and he's going to offer up some opinions of his own. So, Coney, welcome to the show. What do you got for us? How you feeling? How's everything been post-Summit now that we've seen some of these results shake out?
Hi, everybody. Summit's been nuts. I was watching today's stuff with bated breath, watching ZD. Our boy made it in, had the biggest bomb of his life. It looked like Prodigy.
We're going to talk about Prodigy in a bit, but
we'll talk about that later. But Prodigy is the big. That's a heartbreaker. But we can talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, the results from this past weekend. I watched a lot of Overclocked. Was really impressed as always by the Mars Light. Just the dynamic that those two have. Didn't see as much of the other tournaments just because Europe's hard to, with the time zones and everything, it's tough to catch a lot of their stuff.
No blame. Same thing for Japan. I mean, it happens.
Yeah. Didn't realize that event of that size was happening over there in the Southwest, but one name that I was kind of surprised to see was Silly Kyle, who got top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. If a lot of people don't know who that is, so Silly Kyle was actually probably top 5 Peach way back when, back in the Brawl days, and I think he kind of laid dormant in Smash 4, and it's kind of it's not too surprising to see him come up now that Peach is a powerhouse again, but it's kind of funny to see that name again. But yeah, really, really cool events over the weekend. Nothing too crazy in terms of upsets. I mean, I thought Kool-Aid, now Lade, had a really good run at 4th, but I looked at the people he beat, and it wasn't anything crazy.
It was expected because he, juggling so many
C.
characters towards the end of Smash 4, now looking into, potentially Lucina, Sheik, who didn't receive a lot of love. I mean, he's putting in work for sure.
Yeah, the win against Jen was a really big deal, I think, because Jen is definitely one of the sleepers from New York. Game 5 set, incredibly close. I don't know if you caught how it ended, but it was a heartbreaker for Jen.
Yeah, but I'll be honest. I didn't get to watch any. I had to put in a lot of time into Apex Legends, but that's a story for another time.
That's fair, dude. If you go back and watch that set, just watch the last kill. You'll just Palutena. I'll just say that. But anyway.
So really quick though, it's Jen and not Gen, because I heard a funny story where someone was calling him Jen over the loudspeaker, and people started calling him Jennifer at a tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think a tournament happening in the Mid-Atlantic. But, I mean, Gen, regardless. I mean,
I call them both.
He did it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what were we going to say after that? Sorry.
I was just saying, Lade, it's a big win for him, but he kind of played to his seat. Beat Craftus, a few other really good players, but lost to the expected Light Mars. That's just kind of how it is. And DeBuzz winning the whole thing, as he does. DeBuzz is just, he's DeBuzz. So. Yeah,
so I want to open up, or actually I want to close that bit because we were talking about a little bit about DeBuzz, even before the Frostbite preview here.
Sure.
Topics on the left, of course, we're going to go through Frostbite and Summit, which is going to be the meat of this hamburger, and then we're going to have some open mic at the end. But
oh boy.
DeBuzz sponsorless, currently teamless. He has GRV, but sponsorless in the Tier 1 sense. He has made it very publicly known that GRV is his sort of current vehicle. I mean, very shamelessly so. He was talking about how he worked it out with them to have an open contract, I think, around this time. He did not wear the jersey during Genesis Top 8, if you noticed. Yeah. And if I want to go all the way, I think he didn't even have GRV in his name in the stream layout.
I didn't see it, no.
Thoughts on that? Because, it's a Tier 1 player, right? I mean, he's insane. Going into Frostbite that way, offers or not, we don't know. But, with Tweet getting picked up and some of these other pickups, of course, Samsora being one that's almost 2 months old now.
Sure.
You think he'll get picked up pre-Frostbite this week? There's only a couple days left.
Yeah, they might blow it on Friday. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in a New Jersey Friday for Day 1 pools, but I don't want to put any money on that. As we talked about last week, when it comes to Buzz, he's such a different beast in terms of how to market him and how to make him something that could potentially have any impact or ROI. And I don't think teams are going to be rushing into picking up somebody like DeBuzz as opposed to, a different player like even Mars or Light or something like that, like we talked about before, because DeBuzz is not the most popular player and he's playing a very unpopular character. So not to say that you can't do anything with it, because you can, obviously, but it's not an easy task. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him wear something on Friday, but I don't think it's very likely.
I'm going to put my bets on no, only because those things take time, and if it's a team, they need a lot of time. Coordinating something like that, I mean, I know Panda did it, Panda Bias, but Panda did it with the infiltration, I want to say at final round, or either, yeah, it had to be final round. I don't think it was C, it might have been, but he took off a jersey mid-set, so did Nakiel. And that's like a huge like sponsorship curse, like right then and there. If you lose when you take off your sweater to reveal your jersey, that's harsh, which I think Nakiel did. But if you win, like I think Infil did, that's amazing. I mean, nothing tops a proposal into set, which Wadi did to Tweak at 2GGC. That's unforgivable. But coming in now to Frostbite 2019, I mean, you're going to head there. Probably everyone that's relevant is going to head there player-wise. It is the second S tier of the whole season. Favorite to take it, top 3 to take it. What do you think? Because I'll just open up with saying that MK Leo getting this might make things less exciting, although it's going to be hype for Mexico. But I personally want to see someone else than MK Leo take it.
I agree. I don't want to see sort of a similar thing like what we saw with Zero, with him winning all the big stuff. Leo might pull it out again. He might make it happen. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but with his level of play and the fact that, like, seeing him turn it up in losers, I think we're going to have that same level of sort of... He's instilled a sort of nervousness or fear in us, because it's like, okay, Void took him out at Genesis, and I was like, damn, he could do it. He could really make that happen. Or no, I'm sorry, I think it was Sam Sora beat him at Genesis. So it was like, all right, he can really make this happen. Good stuff. And then Void had this really good run on him. If I'm not mistaken, he was up 2-0. And then it was just like a blowout after that. And it feels like it's one of those things, like a Zero thing, where everybody's getting close, but who's going to actually knock him out of the tournament? It's not happening very often. It did happen at Glitch, obviously, but I'm a little concerned that Leo is sort of... He's got the rocket fuel, and he's just going to keep zooming up, and other people are going to struggle to catch up with him. I'm hoping he doesn't take the whole thing, but God, he's just so good. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and previously, Void did struggle a lot with the buzz. As a player that he could never quite close it out. I mean, now we have different matchups that we're looking at, but historically, Void got to buzz many times into game 5s. So that's like not like his sort of best, like... I mean, it's just difficult because, like, in the mix, like, of course, yes, if MK Leo wins this, then he's got 2 S tiers under his belt. He's got the rocket fuel jetting him up, which makes for an exciting, like, who he runs into and possibly upsets him. But I haven't seen, like, any challenges so far apart from the usual top 8 gambit. Like, at least no games are a washout, per se, but, I mean, everything after him seems a little shaky because, like, you know, we'll talk about this with Summit in a second, but, like, for that top 8, like, last chance qualifier, well, last chance qualifier is coming up, but I mean, like, the top, you know, 5 through 7 get in, right? 5, 5, 7, 7. Tweak didn't make it, Nairo didn't make it. Nairo obviously got invited to Summit already, but, like, they were way out of top 8. Like, for their standards, way out of top 8. So when it's like Leo, then a shuffle of players, it kind of makes storylines a little opaque for me. I liked previously where it was like Zero at the clear top, Nairo the buzz at the clear second, third, and everything that came out of it. Personally. But right now I hope that someone else takes it so that we have like a clear second come to be. Because
I agree.
That's not Tweak right now. If we're real. If we're results based, it's not Tweak.
I want to see somebody else sort of step up to the plate, because we see, like, I'm seeing sort of hints of it. So Light almost beat Leo. He got very close, but he didn't do it. Yeah, I know, and he came to the back room, and he was totally fine with it. It was crazy. But Light might be that guy, but Light's also, you know, kind of young. He's a new player. He's got a lot to iron out in terms of sort of his mentality, I think. Because, like, yeah, it's good to not be too hurt by losses, but you got to sting a little. And I feel like he just kind of brushes it off. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I'm hoping that Leo doesn't take the whole thing, because I think there's a lot of history that we've seen when somebody starts winning too much, what that can do, not just for like how we perceive it and the ivory castle that we're sitting in up top, but also just like casual players who are like, oh, this guy's just winning everything, no skill Ike, just spamming Nair, you know? Even if he plays other stuff like Lucina, he's gonna get a lot of that crap.
Yeah, Disjoint God.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that because people want to see like those players kind of uprooted, tossed around, and spit out like by another, unforeseen or either like another top player.
The spectators just want chaos.
Yeah, they do want chaos, and this is kind of like an upset-like game right now.
Yeah.
Now, yes, there was like red and blue Skittles all about the PGstats account during Genesis, and there will be more during Frostbite. But in so far as like the old guard, they're still the new guard basically, and like there aren't characters like cheesing out almost like any set to the point of like, oh my gosh, that doesn't look right. People are getting outplayed, like pretty resolutely speaking.
Sure.
So that factor too, like the fact that it's like pretty even, like in terms of power levels, like Bernard's Loop, shout outs to him. He posted a results based.
Oh, I saw that
bar graph, and it was like beginning of Smash 4 Diddy, and it was like a slope down CSS, Rosalina, Sheik, and then right now everything's level. Like Wolf, Olimar, Lucina, Ike, everything's just like a plateau, which is
right.
I don't know. Is that what we want? Is that? Oh, I think that's what we wanted the whole time. But now that we got it, is that what we need? I mean,
it's a weird thing because like, in terms of the casual space, they want to see everybody win because like anybody could pull out any character, blah blah blah. But casual is also kind of like having that sort of, and by casual I mean like a casual viewer base, the people that are filling up. We talked about last week, maybe there's like 6,000 people actively competing, but there are 12,000 people watching a major any weekend. That's like a low number, not even a super major, but like an A tier.
Yeah.
So those people want to see surprising characters and they want to see new stuff. But at the same time, I think they also like seeing Diddy lose, and they like seeing certain characters get trumped, which is kind of what I was alluding to when I was talking about Leo just sort of falling, and I think people will be excited to see that. Then again, Leo doesn't really have the same sort of bravado that Zero had back in his day, where you kind of wanted to see him lose, especially if you were, sort of uninitiated into the scene. You're just like, who's this guy just talking all this trash, winning everything? I want him to
so low key, still
right.
So low key.
He beat Void. And like, there's no pop off. There's nothing. He won Genesis again, and there's nothing. The guy's just like, I don't know. He's very, very calm.
Almost.
I think the spread of characters is going to be good for us overall down the line, though.
Yeah, and I agree because like the diversity right now at least is very healthy, and for Frostbite at least we'll get like again Japan's second chance, because I was telling people that I thought Genesis was Japan's tournament. I really, really thought that.
I thought Zachary was taking it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah, and that was impressive that Zachary got as far as he did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, no. Like, it wasn't... I wanted to see 5 out of the top 8 beat Japanese, but, like, I didn't see Nietono. I didn't get Abadango. I didn't get, what I thought would have happened, because I thought things are more, based on neutral. There's less, like, power differentials, there's more stage, all this other stuff
right.
that I thought they would benefit from, considering the fact that, they're masters of that, but we didn't get that, unfortunately.
Oh, you might get it Frostbite. Frostbite has so much Japanese representation year after year, so this might be it.
So I think this might be it, and I hope it is. If Japan wins this, that'll be huge, because attention will be centered back there, and Zachary, like, was sort of the lighthouse for Japan right now, for people to sort of be like, okay, like, let's take Japan even more seriously than we were before. And then Como's coming back, which that's a lot of pressure for Como. And
yeah.
I don't know that he'll make it, but we'll see.
I'm a little I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm interested to see how the Japanese fare. I'm not going to put anybody but Zachary in the Frostbite top 8. Maybe somebody will have that killer run, but I think Abadango's super underperforming, obviously.
Wow.
Como might be able to make it work, but I just... It's funny because if Como was like coming back to another game after Smash 4, if it was more similar to Smash 4, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah, definitely. But this game is so different. And despite us seeing so many of the same results and the same people winning, it still feels considerably different to me. And I don't know if he's going to be able to succeed in this kind of environment. I'm not saying he can't, because he's obviously super good, but it remains to be seen. And the Japanese players, so far as I can tell, haven't really taken to the game like a lot of people think they would. So
yeah, a lot of people like me included.
Yeah. It might be something that comes down the line. I mean, maybe it's just a slow burn, you know?
I mean, I'm seeing those Icy's Japanese Twitter vines coming up.
Yeah.
And that looks scary. But also the practicality and a Paladin and Nair existing is, like, kind of different. And kind of doesn't make for that sort of stuff to happen. But regardless, Frostbite, of course, is going to be the tournament to watch. If you haven't looked into it, make sure that you do. Tune in this weekend to Unrivaled, MVG, and Gucci Gaming, because they're going to have the hotness, and they're going to show the crew battles, they're going to show everything that has to do with, gosh, like, all the doubles, all the singles, all the hypest events that we're going to see at the highest level. So, second S tier of the season, and Coney has something to say.
Check out the invitational, the casual invitational. Oh my god, I'm so excited for that.
What do you mean?
Alfred's hosting...
hosting
a casual invitational with 8 players. Can't remember the list off the top of my head, but the idea is it's 8 players, weird stages. So you have a starter stage list and counter picks, but they're all kind of goofy. All items are on except for, I think, healing items are off, and maybe some other things like the invincibility star or something like that. I don't know, but it looks killer, and I'm super excited for it. I love to see sort of the game outside of the stuff that we know and expect.
What we sterilize.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's so much more to this game, and I'm excited to see some of that.
And that could be a really great conduit for a lot of players kind of on the edge. Long story short, last Friday, a bunch of 8th graders challenged me to Smash during lunch. A bunch of the kids I teach, and it was hands. It was like hands, but the way that they understood, and they didn't play the items or anything, but the way they understood the game and versus what I was doing, like, it was so different. And one of them was like, "Why do you keep shielding and not doing anything? Like, that's cheap." And I was like, that's just an option. But, you know, having the bridge for people outside of them, maybe like teetering on the line of like, can I play this game with other people? Like, the casual invitation, I think, is a great idea. And also it flexes the parts of the engine in a way that is not so chaotic, but also really fun to watch, because, I don't know, it kind of gets, like, from what I saw from the pre-release Nintendo events, like, oh, a Japan tournament's going on, let's check it out, Abadanga. Oh, there's items. And it's like they have all the items, and they have all the things and all the stages. And immediately that's like dead in the water for me. So props to Alfred. I think that'll be cool. I think on one of the special guests, I know art-wise we have a Kai Riot coming once again, but I think Tier Zoo. Yeah.
Tier Zoo, yeah.
Which will be an interesting guest to have at a Smash event, but we already saw, like, yeah. I mean, that'll be great. So that'll be awesome. I'm really excited to see that. But now, this thing I'm excited to talk about, which is our second topic now, and you got a dog in this fight, but we're going to talk about Smash Ultimate Summit, because it has concluded with the people that have been voted in, shown below: Mango, Pluck, Cosmo, ZD, Gluttony. Are you surprised? Are you sad? Are you happy? What do you feel?
I am not surprised that Gluttony got in, because he has an entire continent at his back.
Same.
I was a little concerned that Aizawa would sort of split that, you know what I mean? Because not to say that they're from similar spots, but, I mean, you've got all of Europe and sort of backing this one horse, and then I thought Aizawa would kind of eat some of that lunch, but apparently not. ZD getting in is a big surprise, just because MDVA in the past has been, you know, sort of a joke region in a lot of eyes in terms of Smash 4, but people are really putting the shine there.
What is Tidor?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I genuinely don't. It's just something that it's a new generation thing. I swear to God. Like, I really don't know. It's funny, because, like, if you look at, like, a lot of the old people, so like me, TKE, we don't know what the hell's going on over there, but Seagull's in it because he's a player, you know. So
Well,
He's the
Tidor
same
won
Hispanic.
ZD something, because all I saw pre-Spirit Bomb was Tidor posts all over Twitter.
Yeah, and one thing that I wanted to address is that so I saw Tidor post all over the place, and I saw a lot of people saying, "Damn, it sucks Prodigy didn't make it in," and that ZD had all this help from VG and all that other stuff.
Oh boy!
Just to be clear, VG had very little to do with ZD's success. Now, it doesn't mean they didn't have anything to do with it, because obviously being on the most watched Smash stream on Twitch is a big deal. That's a lot of exposure. A lot of people are going to watch it. However, in terms of actual structural help, VG didn't really do much other than like retweet some stuff. And obviously, we've seen that doesn't really do a whole lot. I think really MDVA deserves all the credit for this win, getting their boy through there. It sucks for somebody like Prodigy, who was apparently 700 votes away, incredibly close.
Bro, $8,000. $8,000 dropped at the very end.
Summit.
Oh
Insane.
my god! Like,
yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the Summit voting system in a moment, but I do want to say that, like, yeah, like the getting in of ZD, like the getting in of anybody, boils down to coordinated support, which New England did not demonstrate this time for their boy Mars.
Yeah.
But they have in the past. And it's not like skill, because Tweak didn't get in. It's not popularity, because, you know, Esam and, you know, I don't think Anti even entered. But Esam, you know, has a base, he YouTubes, he does whatever. He didn't get in. So it's like how many people you can get to give money to this website to get your votes up, not anything else. And if you achieve that through a donation drive that I saw, who was it? It was a European player that was having water balloons thrown at him as if they were Pikmin. I think his name, I don't remember his name, but yeah, like Cosmos campaigned, he had incentives, people are like, you know, I'm gonna stream for 20 hours, right? Like all this sort of crazy stuff. And that's what does it, nothing else. And as soon as I saw Tweak make that tweet longer at the very, very beginning, he's like, by the way, I'm not campaigning. You know how good I am. I know how good I am. Let's stop there. I was like, all right, so Tweak was not making it. Unfortunately, which isn't anything that has to do with his skill and nothing that has to do with like who he is as a person. More so that like, oh my gosh, like you're not going to campaign? Like, bro, like Hillary, right? That's what happened to her.
I think it's a gamble where you're just like, all right, you guys know how good I am. I'm not gonna. The monkey doesn't have to dance. It's like
I disagree
like,
though.
I want to see you do something silly. Come on, eat the onion. And he's like, no, I'm just really good at the game. He did stream a couple times, but I didn't watch it. But apparently he was just kind of quiet, not really showcasing anything, just playing the game.
Yeah, he's a tremendous player, but like the personality aspect, and I've seen Mr. Art criticize it before, like, oh, I don't want to just act and cause conflict for your enjoyment. It's not even that, and it's not even that neither have a personality. It's just more so like if people weren't tuned into you beforehand during the whole Summit campaign, like forget it. Like you're gonna be behind, like, and what everybody else did incentive wise, like got them ahead, and whatever Prodigy did. I mean, I know that we had NorCal top players apparently donating their winnings. We had I think his parents were helping out because he's only 14, so he had like that coordinated effort. I mean, all that combined, I mean, that's the sort of stuff you kind of need to do. But sorry to cut you off. What were you gonna say? Because I think
I think it's interesting that we didn't see much of a spectacle this time. We didn't have like a clown show where people are dressing up or acting crazy. It was just, I feel like what this meant was sort of more of a regional focus than we saw in the past. Like, obviously before it was like, okay, New England got in their boy. But in the other spaces, it was just like who people liked on kind of a grand scale. Here, it really felt like people were backing the horse of who's showing up to their locals and who's helping them. It's not like somebody across the world is donating for somebody else because he said a funny thing on a stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably the exception to that would be Cosmos, who campaigned super hard in terms of incentives and stuff like that. And he didn't really run like a silly, goofy, haha campaign, but he definitely offered things to his viewers and to people who were donating at a level that a lot of people didn't. A lot of people were like, okay, vote for me because it would be a really good opportunity for me. It's like
that's
sort of what it came down to.
And it's so tough because if you've never been in that public sphere or in that Twitter sphere or in that any sphere, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, can you do this one thing for me?
Right, yeah.
It's like coming off kind of disingenuous, coming off kind of like desperate. And it's not that any of these people were desperate necessarily. They were just trying to get in. And if trying to get in mean getting votes, like, more than everybody else, then, like, you had to kind of, like, you had to do everything it took. But that's on ZD, sorry, that's it for ZD. I think it'll be great to see him. I think he'll experience a semi light-esque VGB or VG boot camp sort of like rise, where like Light was known within region, and he was the funny guy, roll up the sleeves, devil may care attitude, like, marches to the beat of his own drum. Very, very funny, explosive. But then when people got to see that, and he beat people, that's hype. The best thing that can happen for ZD is at least taking out someone like Leffen, someone that'll be a huge Twitter buzz, even if it's like Mango, like, that'll be hype.
I think he's going to get some big wins. I definitely expect him to perform, maybe not winning the whole thing,
sure,
but I think the real fun comes in who beats Zero. Because, no, don't get me wrong.
What if
Zero
wins
good.
The whole thing? That'd be
Zero's not
high-key.
going to win the whole thing. Stop. If Zero's good, don't get me wrong, but he's not. This isn't Zero. This isn't TSM Zero. This is Zero.
He's a content creator. He's not a top player. Jokes.
Well, kind of, yeah. He's a
Stop. He's a top player.
He's still very good, but I want to see who beats him because they're going to get the biggest lift, whether or not it means anything. Like, if ZD stomps out Zero, beats him 3-0, not even close, I think two things are going to happen. I think a lot of people are going to be like, damn, ZD's really good. You grab a lot of Zero's audience. A lot of those eyes are on you, and they're like, wow, who's this Fox player?
Thank you for joining the Scarf Army.
Yeah, basically. You get that Scarf Army to look at. And two, I'm a little curious if that's going to light something under Zero. Like, I wonder if this is going to sort of ignite his fire. I don't know, but I can tell you as a former competitor, nothing makes me madder than getting my ass kicked. Even if I don't care about competing, still losing, it's like, damn it. So I'm wondering if Zero's going to go to this, get a little humbled, and maybe we'll see a little bit more. I think that's a lot to ask. And I don't want to put anything on him because, he's obviously really happy with what he's doing. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, Zero has made it very clear that sitting at his streaming setup on a weekend is far more beneficial to his agenda than anything else right now. And a ZD loss or a Summit like wash could ignite that, but it's still, there's the opportunity cost of going to tournaments, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
By and large, he is our biggest streamer, and it will be a net positive for ZD if he were to pull that off, or anybody, in fact. The best thing that we could probably see is Leffen versus Zero. My opinion. My humble opinion.
Well,
Mango versus Zero.
Yeah.
Well, because, Mango is he's a top player, blah, blah, blah. He plays Wario, I get it. He's incredible, Mango Nation, whatever. But Leffen's taking this game seriously to a degree that I think isn't above or below Mango's, but it's very particular. He was practicing. He quit Melee singles at Genesis to do Ultimate singles. That was unheard of. So he's got, like, a lot writing and, like, Pokemon Trainer, which now he's, like, switched over. He's been juggling Young Link, he's been juggling Wolf, he's been juggling all these characters, whatever he pulls out at Summit. Because he did mention that, like, for what it takes to work Pokemon Trainer at full capacity, like, full optimum, like, Wolfbacker. Like, there's things that just, like, trump so much of the calculus that you have to do with switching and this, and now I'm Charizard, and I want to be Ivysaur, like, whatever. And yes, like, you could start the match as Squirtle, get the damage, and switch to Ivysaur, and, like, then Charizard to close it out. But, like, there's more to that he's clearly working with that other top players are able to snuff out, that I think makes it hard. So beating, like, Zero as Leffen would be incredible. But the other thing I want to ask you, and the other thing I think a lot of people have been criticizing over and over, is the Melee representation. That I don't think is, like, pretty valid, because I think it's necessary to get everything together, which means, yes, you're going to have Armada there, and you're going to have Leffen there, and you're going to have Mango. But, like, I don't think they took any spots. I don't think, like, do you think you'd rather have other Ultimate players there? Personally, I'm happy with the way things are.
I
key.
think they definitely took spots.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think it's a result of this being the first one, and they're going with safe bets.
I think it was necessary.
Yeah, I'm not on that strategy team, but I totally get why they would do it, and it totally makes sense. But I do feel like it is eating up some of our spots. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but it's definitely happening.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It is a thing that's happening, and part of it is they want to see if that crossover is coming, because the Melee Summits obviously performed really well. The only thing that we really had like that for Smash 4 was the VG bootcamp, and that was not great. And there are a bunch of different reasons for that. It was a great event, but the viewership wasn't all there, and I think it
came at a bad time too.
Yeah, it was a really
so many
bad
things.
time.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of different things, but the bottom line is they're backing the horses they need to back, because Mango's going to get a bunch of viewers no matter what. Zero is obviously 2. Leffen has a big presence. Armada's going to get eyes. I don't think there's anything wrong with them doing that, but again, they're definitely doing it. So I think it's a little disingenuous to say. I don't think it's quite fair to be like, oh no, that's just. They love the game, and it's really a part of their lives, and they plan on taking Ultimate super seriously. Like, no.
It's a media blowout. It's a media
thing, and that's fine. And that's fine. It's a
exactly.
That's fine.
And that's where it's like you got to set aside all these ethics and all these like, oh, well, the best players and deserving, and like that's not really what kind of matters here. What's gonna matter is Leffen beat Zero as a Twitch clip, or
right.
Leo loses to Mango, Twitch clip. Like, for what it matters for people outside the scene, for what it matters for people inside the scene, this is really a reality TV show. And
yeah, exactly.
That's not going to necessarily come about with, like, having all of our top players together and it just being that.
Well, not every event has to be, like, streaming from the loft with 8 different top players, or like Sky's Invitational or something.
Yeah,
like it's a lot of. You don't need that. I like what Summit's doing, and I like these choices. But these are the choices that people are making, and I think it would behoove anyone watching this stuff to sort of understand it at that broader picture of this isn't specifically to find out who the best player in the world is, or to invite only the best players. There are different audiences and levels to this thing, and I think Summit's sort of attacking one that Smash 4 hadn't seen yet, so maybe a lot of people are surprised. But yeah, the Melee focus, again, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it is a thing, but it's fine. Like, we need something like this, especially for the first one.
Oh, yeah.
First one. Like,
oh, my God. This. Yeah, and, like, if you even look at the people who didn't make it in terms of, like, top player capacity, I mean, Salem's not there. Wizbrobe on the kind of hybrid side, because he did have a 6 Smash 4 Sheik, but currently trying to get it going in Ultimate. Esam, Mars, Larry. I mean, it's clearly not about the pantheon of we're gonna get all our best players together under one roof and figure out who's the best, and this is it. I mean, I felt like Summit of Power was like that, only because of a very coincidental sort of alignment of both talent and character, because I thought Summit of Power was really hype and very fun, but also very serious. The other Melee Summits, I would say, are the same, mostly, but because Melee's social expanses and, like, the meme pick or this or that, like, and the popularity that you're fighting against, I mean, it kind of boils down to it is a media blowout. And the same thing kind of goes for Ultimate, because I think that the Ultimate side of things, like, I think it would have been hype if we got, like, if we had Tweak. I mean, so where do you stand on Tweak then? Like, obviously he didn't happen. He didn't campaign. He, a lot of people are saying deserves to be there. I mean, I think the concept of deserves is, like, it's very reductive, because, like...
No, deserves isn't the right word, because if he deserved to be there, he would have won Genesis. Like,
boom! That's the thing, because Genesis is available, and Frostbite's also available, and I saw Mars tweet that, I didn't get into something, paraphrase, I didn't get into Summit, but now I have to beat the best player in the world to get in, and it was like a disappointed emoji. And people were criticizing, like, yeah, Tweak should be in already, Tweak should have been blah, 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 blah. And then Sam Sora is like, you're focusing on what could have happened instead of focusing on winning, what happened to that fire, and Sam Sora clapped him. And Mars was like, I hate it when you're right. I do have to focus on that. And that's unfortunately what it's like. And if Tweak were to have been there, like Zachary got it, right? Because Light didn't.
Yeah.
Light's not going. And he lost to Zachary. Like, that's transactional, right? Same thing goes for Tweak. But, like, a lot of people are upset about it. Pretty upset about it.
Saying that he deserves to be there, like, what you're really saying is he deserves to be there because he won Glitch. And it's like, that was never in the contract. Genesis was in the contract. And a lot of people had their eyes on him after Glitch because he had this great performance and he did great at Let's Make Moves also. So, like, people are saying it based on that. But those were preseason. You know what I mean? Like, now we're talking about the playoff stuff. Genesis was the big deal and he underperformed. You can't really make an argument for that. I understand why people are upset, but again, he had his opportunity. It didn't work. So I'm interested to see how this last spot goes. People are going to be fighting it out, obviously. Maybe a lot of upsets. I think that the next couple of summits, if this Ultimate Summit does well and they want to make more, I feel like Melee wouldn't be totally out, but I could see them phasing out. So, like, maybe Armada isn't invited next time because, you know, he's not focusing on it as much. Although, Armada's a weird case because he's not doing Melee either. So
yeah, and he got 96th at Genesis, so it's not even like he had results to boast.
Yeah, lost to Pandarian and someone else, I don't know. But I feel like they might phase somebody like Armada out. Maybe Mango is sort of phased out too. Leffen depends on if he's seriously... Because he said that he was going to... He sort of had a timetable on Ultimate, and then he was going to switch back to Melee. So maybe for the second summit, we'd see a little bit more of what we expect. But, again, this voting stuff's always going to be there. So people have to get ready and get used to it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, the voting aspect will always, like, truncate the whole entire, like, expectations bit, because, I mean, it's all bets are off. Like, whoever wins Frostbite, yes, that'll be by skill. But all the other spots already, it's like, I mean, yeah, whoever ate the onion or said they were going to, and blah, blah, blah.
So apparently, Tweak isn't even going to the qualifier. He is a 1K sub goal to go. That's...
Wait, the qualifier is Frostbite, right?
I think it's Nimbus.
And what is Nimbus? Why don't I know about this?
I don't know. I think the qualifier is Nimbus, but... So, apparently, he has a 1,000 sub goal to go to that. And if he gets that goal, then he'll go and he'll compete. But, like, with TSM's backing, I don't know why... Like, if you really care, I don't know.
Well, so
that's a whole new thing. That's like I wasn't aware of all
this
that.
Is a news flash. This is a unrehearsed report now. Like, what is this Nimbus and what is this not going for a 1K sub goal? Like 1K sub goal because he has to do it for his signing, or like 1K sub goal because I want to make a goal to like have me do something. What do you?
I don't know. I knew that Nimbus was the last qualifier. It's like a week before Summit.
And what is Nimbus?
It's a tournament.
Why don't I know about this?
I don't know. It's a tournament. It's coming up. It's in SoCal. But yeah, so it has the last qualifier spot, and apparently, and I didn't know this until just now, Tweak has a 1K sub goal to go. So
do you know how much he's at right now currently?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But regardless, I mean, like, everybody that's saying he should be invited should be invited. Like, and this is nothing on Tweak, by the way. If he wants to do that, that is his prerogative. Totally get it. I understand. But everybody's saying he wants to go so bad, he deserves it. He's not acting like it. So it's like... Because if I was signed by TSM and there was still a spot open and I was that good and I wanted to go, I would be pushing that. But if you don't, that's fine. It's just...
So, yikes. So, it's all... I'm still careful on, like, deserved and wanting and showing. Because, like, it's also not in Tweak's, like... He's typically not the person to lead in with something like that.
Sure.
And he's been very, like, you know... very personal on Twitter about like his rise as a top player, as how he has to work harder than other players to be seen as such. I think by the end of Smash 4, it was completely unmistakably clear he was top 3 in the world at any given moment. And right now, the same applies in theory, not results, but in theory.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I guess we're not seeing that whole thing, and it's hard to like name because like you're also naming what he's not doing. So it's kind of like tough because you don't want to face that backlash. But I mean, I'd agree. Like it seems like I don't know what the 1K sub call's about. Why not just go or sweep that whole thing? I mean, I don't know. Have you seen anybody that's going towards Nimbus like that? Maybe is gonna probably sweep if he doesn't go.
No, not really sweep. I mean, Mars said that he was going. Obviously, that's what he was talking about in terms of the qualifier. Yeah, so Mars is obviously gunning for that spot.
Oh, wow, yeah. 2GG's teaming up with Metashift to bring you the first major SoCal to have Melee and Ultimate. Highest placing non-invited / qualified / voted player is going to earn the last spot. What are these attendees? 72 attendees. This is March 3rd. This is 2 weeks from now. What's
coming up soon? Yep.
Larry, Esam, AC, Stroder.
Yeah, Esam being on that list too. That's another big thing. Esam actually beat Tweak at Genesis, so even if Tweak goes, it's not like it would be a total sweep like you were saying.
That was an insane Game 5. Oh
yes,
my gosh.
It was a lot of fun to commentate. Apparently the stream was awful and like clipping out and stuff. I wish you guys could have seen the whole thing because it was insane. It was nuts.
That's true. I can't even get a clip up because it was that side stream that was having issues.
I think it's fixed now. I think the VODs on YouTube are good, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, nonetheless, I mean, we have that last chance. I mean, what would be the best timeline out of that? Tweet going? Larry going? I mean, I'd appreciate Larry. I'd appreciate Esam, AC, jury's still out, Stroder.
Mars would be good if he's going. I don't know if he's going, but he said that he might. So I think that the Ultimate Summit lineup is honestly very good right now at the spot that it's at. I don't see any holes missing. I don't look at a list and I'm like, yeah, that person should be there, deserves to be there. I feel like anything else is going to be gravy. Like, it's a good ad. But I'm not, we'll see. So,
okay.
I'll be watching it. So, because a lot's on the line.
Yeah, I'll be on the scene, so I can let you know. But
sure.
It'll definitely be something that I don't think the community understands how high value of an event it's going to be, and I don't think that the community has yet to sort of put it all together, because I think it's one of those things that right now people are excited, this and that, but it's going to be like this very insane focus for a weekend on our biggest personalities, which is time not only for branding and all the other like esports related stuff, but also to like foster that next piece of the story. Because right now, like, Leo won Genesis, and then blank player is going to win Frostbite. Like, what are we doing with that? And Summit's like a great point to show that, because I haven't seen too much article coverage. I haven't seen too much in the digital media realm, aside from things like this and other coverage like YouTube passion projects here and there. Like, it's kind of lacking. I mean, I don't know if we're taking things for granted right now, but it's really hard for someone that isn't in the scene like day to day to know what's happening. And I think that, this summit will give everybody like a nice hard like framing for that, because right now, like, it's not there. I'll be honest, it's not there. Like,
it'll be a lot of things to link to, a lot of articles that you can sort of showcase and put on your, I think that this is going to be the first blow up that we see in terms of like media presence. Going to be a lot of GIFs, a lot of Twitch clips, stuff like that. And I think that that's going to be a great jumping off point for the players that go. Because you're right, I feel like we've sort of been a little surprisingly insular in terms of we've been sort of developing stuff around Ultimate, and people that want to come in, they've come in. So the casual players that are looking for guides or stuff like that, but we haven't had any sort of outreach, or we're not going out. And I think Summit's going to be a good chance for that.
Yeah, and that about wraps it up, because aside from like the money at stake, which will motivate everybody that's there to play at the highest possible level, it's also like the skits we're gonna get and the little bits here and there that we're gonna see that for a long time now, a lot of people have been like, I want to make this, but opportunity cost, or I want to make this, but who's gonna watch it? And we've geared up a ton for Ultimate, but I think like everything is still kind of in its seedling stages, and I think people expected at the beginning to just be like, you know, basically what the hype was at the apex of the 2GC like Civil War era.
Yeah, people expected it to blow up on its own just from there. Yeah,
and like, gosh, even Civil War had just so much scaffolding to it, and so much like that we still haven't seen since then. Aside from Genesis, that kind of needs to happen, and I think Summit's going to be one of those things.
Yeah, this is going to be the first step to that, I think.
Yeah. So on that topic, I think we've covered everything there is to do in the Summit summary, unless you have any last things to add, Coney.
Nope, that's it. I'm excited to watch it. It's going to be fun. And I know a lot of people kind of have gotten passes or bought themselves in there, so it's going to be a lot more people than just the people invited and stuff. So it's going to be a good showcase. It's going to be fun. Yeah,
I agree. And it's definitely going to be something that I'm happy to see Beyond the Summit involved in, because we haven't seen too much aside from Shine 2018 in terms of like Beyond the Summit involvement for production. And I think that's a welcome addition, to the community. I think that having, everybody else, BGBC, 2GG, everybody having their thing going, like Beyond the Summit is another incredible team of talent that the community, I think, will benefit from. So
sure,
big ups to them. But yeah, our last segment now that we've did the Summit summary, open mic. So anything that like you want to say out loud, Coney? I kind of sprung this on last minute, but like I'm kind of feeling like Twitter's been calm. The game in general has been calm. We haven't found anything game breaking. They just announced that 3.0 patch is coming. That'll be cool, with Joker also coming in late April. I mean, second DLC picks. I mean, what do you think? You think Banjo's the truth? I mean,
I want Banjo so bad. Honestly, I think it's all speculation right now, and I'm not a guy to speculate, because Nintendo is so off the wall. They can just do anything they want at a moment's notice and just be like, oh, Master Chief's now in the game. Have fun. It's like, wait, what? Like, I don't.
That'd be a lot.
We'll see what 3.0 has. We'll see what characters are. I don't know. I've been mostly sort of separated from this whole Summit thing and Smash Twitter and whatnot, because I feel like there's not much to talk about. It's
been calm, to be real. It's been very calm.
Yeah, it's been, and I think there's this, I don't know, it's been calm. That's all I'm gonna say. I have a lot more that I want to say, but I don't want to sound, I don't want to be a contrarian or just, Smash Twitter's been kind of lame lately, in my opinion, and the whole conversations that people are having. I know this isn't a Melee podcast, but this wobbling thing is like, I've got some feelings on it, but I don't want to go crazy onto that. So
well, I will say, what I will say about the wobbling ban is that the way Melee has approached banning something versus how we did, it's like they're changing the Constitution, to be honest. Like the way the way they talk about it is so much more leveled and different from like the reactive knee-jerk outcries we would
Oh, actually, I had the opposite reaction. It's funny that you say that. I thought the opposite. Yeah, because what I see from Melee is like people going around and like, man, that's lame. I don't want to play against it anymore. Get rid of it. I'm seeing that.
What was the last thing to get gotten rid of in Melee?
There's nothing really got rid of Melee. We didn't get rid of anything in Melee because it was lame. This is the first thing, but I wonder if it's going to set a precedent. And I know slippery slope fallacy, blah blah blah. But like we've been laying at the altar of this Fox, like, yo, sick multi-shines for so long that now we see something and we're like, oh, that's kind of lame. That takes no skill. We want to get rid of it. There's something to this cult-like thing that Melee's having, and I feel like just banning something because you personally don't like it because it's corny, I'm not. It's a little weird to me. It's kind of corny.
I mean, it's not a Melee podcast, so we don't have to debate all of the specifics. We're ignorant ultimates, but wobbling corny or game breaking? So. But like wobbling is just corny or game breaking? I mean, I don't know. Like,
wobbling's lame, but there's a lot of lame stuff, and there's this whole conversation that's happening where, oh, ICs are quitting because you took wobbling out. guess that proves the point. They can't compete without wobbling, but Icy's lose no matter what because I don't know. I've been very in tune with this wobbling stuff. I don't want to go too far into it, but I think it sets this weird precedent where like hashtag Mango Nation Team Beer, wow, what a sick fox is gonna become like we're artificially making the game cooler because you want to make Melee a lifestyle. I think it's kind of lame.
Oh, okay.
But that's why. But I don't play Melee, and I'm just one guy, so I don't want to be like act like I know what I'm talking about. I'm seeing it from the outside, and along with all the Summit stuff, just Smash Twitter has been kind of pissing me off. So I've just kind of taken a backseat.
Yeah, I mean, if that was a tweet, that'd be a fat retweet from me. I'll be honest.
Well, somebody put one out recently. Bunk, he was like, Icy wobbling should only be legal if the Icy player picks Fox and we see them pull off some sick, dope stuff, and we know that they're secretly a homie in real life. Then they're allowed to wobble. So
is that a joke?
If you're cool enough, then you get to play the game. That's just.
I also saw like percent-based wobbling bans. Like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw some of that too.
Cutting it all short, will it result in a Jigs ban? Yes or no? You don't have to explain.
No, you know, the Jigglypuff thing was like somebody made a joke, and then what happens on Smash Twitter, this happens all the time. Somebody will be like, we should ban wobbling, and yeah, we should ban Jigglypuff while we're at it. And then somebody will see that and be like, wow.
People are saying.
Yeah, so many people are talking about banning Jigglypuff. I can't believe people would say that. And then somebody else sees that like, banning Jigglypuff. What scrubs? It, like, I put out a tweet recently, and I was like, wow, I can't believe people are seriously talking about banning Dr. Mario. That's crazy. There wasn't even a Dr. Mario in top 8. People are definitely talking about this. I can't believe it. Can you believe they're absolutely talking about this ban? Like, people just make this stuff up. So, the Jigglypuff thing's silly.
It's the echo chamber. It's how we had the last election happen.
It's crazy, dude. Ugh. God. Anyway, this is an ultimate podcast, but
this is so open mic, Smash Twitter, kind of low on the impressive side. I think it'll gear up once Frostbite happens. I think the gifts to come will be nice. I think
that'll be fun.
The winner, everything. My bit for open mic, just the last thing I want to say tonight, unless you have anything else to add, is like the coverage that we're not seeing. Like I mentioned earlier, make note of that. I saw ESPN in the very beginning talk about don't park on the grass, but apart from that, I did not see, to my knowledge, a signing of Tweak TSM article, which this would have made waves 2 years ago.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That would have been a stop. You know, right now it is on .esports, which is nice. It came out on my birthday. But aside from .esports, which is a org, you know, very, very nice, not too much mainstream coverage apart from that. I didn't see it blow up much else, you know, until like, you know, League wasn't coming in and being like, whoa, Smash Ultimate. I mean, the crossover is like not going to happen like that. But aside from a TSM article post and a .esports one, I mean, not so much. So I want people to make note of that because the reasons why we had the die down of content in the sense of writing in Smash 4 was due to people not sharing, not retweeting, not clicking. The audience was there, but the audience had ad block, Reddit summaries, and for the most part, like they just weren't clicking sites that required you to enable cookies or turn off ad blocker.
Yeah.
So with however people start to now try to reintroduce that content coverage, I'd say share it. Or at least give it some sort of follow or listen, because this is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of alarming to me.
No, I feel that. And
tiny bit.
I think that people in Smash had this idea that Ultimate was going to come out, change the world, be big, and it's because we've already drank the Kool-Aid and we're a part of it. But half of the world is like already on Apex. Apex is the next hotness. People have forgotten Smash. There's Apex. Anthem is coming out. We've got a ton of Shadows Die Twice is about to come out. Like, you've got a new game every month, and for a lot of people, Smash was just another one of those. It's not this big thing that deserves a lot of coverage. So if you care about the game, and if it's a big deal to you, I would say sort of make that known, share it, retweet it, blah, blah, blah. Because you're right. I feel like there is the risk. And there... It's going to pop back up every once in a while with new characters because that's a big deal.
Yep.
But like games are such a consumable medium that people are already on to the next thing. So,
yeah.
In terms of like Smash Ultimate esports stuff, that's a lot of that's going to fly under the radar.
Yeah, and until like there's again more centered production, or if there's something that goes on with even like ESL down in Atlanta, kind of how they did for Street Fighter. I mean, again, the whole 10 US thing with working with Nintendo, how does that look like? What do you do? Yeah. Do you do prize pot if you're in Japan? Here's a Switch for beating 2,000 people. Like, I don't know. So
yeah.
I want to see more coverage, but I also want people to be aware why there isn't any, or at least be like, again, wondering. Like, that's true. Tweet got signed by TSM, a tier 1 organization, a legendary, like, accolade, smothered, our brand is win organization, and it was a peep. You know, it was like a blip. And so I want people to wonder about that more. That'll be my bit, at least for open mic tonight. Anything else you want to say to the people before we sign out?
Nope. Not really. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna do this every week. Usually on Mondays. Tonight we had to do it on a Wednesday.
President's Day, and we ended right when Summit Vote ended, so it was calculated. It was very calculated.
Totally.
But yeah, 6th episode of SmashCenter. Coney you can find on Twitter at ConeyZZ, as well as Twitch if you ever want to check in and see what he's doing.
I'm playing a really weird game right now, so don't come in expecting Smash.
Is this the claymation game?
Yes, it is. It's very good.
I'm subscribing. Anyways, so thanks, Coney. We'll see you next week. I'm going to go ahead and close out now. Thanks again for everything you said. And we're going to now head towards the end here. So when we're considering Smash Ultimate and all event coverage that you're looking for these days, SmashCenter has it right here. This has been the 6th episode now. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on just Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe because you can always get the best updates as to how we're covering these events, breaking them down, and everything else. All things considered, it's been fun. Suar from PGstats will be back next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, if all allows. We'll be covering Frostbite and everything else. If you want to go ahead and tune in so you can hear the latest, go ahead. We'll be on twitch.tv/PandaGlobal, and we'll be seeing you next time. Go ahead and enjoy, and have a good night.